I expect to see a homegrown development model where the South will be transformed to become, if you go to all these countries, Asian countries, you see the way they transform their islands to become a super tourist, center. We're so blessed. I would want Lagos to be changed from being a slum. Do you know that in Lagos, they don't have pipe-borne water? They don't have light? A youth corper described Lagos as a smelly city. They are still punishing her for that. I want Lagos to be transformed, to be the home for all, to be the gateway, to be a Dubai. I want the North to be transformed, to be the agricultural masterpiece. We have arable land. I want security to be restored, that every Nigerian that goes to sleep sleeps with two eyes closed and wake up in the morning very energetic. I want Nigerian GDP to grow because we have what it takes. I want Nigeria to export oil and all the different products of oil to all parts of the world. Can you imagine? It took Dangote 3 years to build a refinery. It took Nigeria 30 years. They couldn't repair existing refineries. You know what that means? That we have the capacity to achieve in 3 years what the failed leaders could not achieve in 30 years. So in 3 years, if we remain focused, we can transform this country. So anybody telling you in 3 years they can't achieve anything is the excuse of a failure.
Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo, I'd like to thank you very much for
Homo, you don't hear the latest. Kenneth Okonkwo, oh boy. Wanna not share this video, this where Mr. President deal, an APC member. Wanna not share this video, this where they did. Well, Kenneth Okonkwo don't come again. Anyways, just take your time, listen to what Kenneth Okonkwo say about Mr. President, about President Tinubu. See, oh, ADC. How many times? Now one missed opportunity. Because it will be. Oh no, they won't miss opportunity. If any small mistake you guys make concerning this ticket, whom to zone the ticket or whom to give this ticket to, any mistake, it could lead to it will be a disaster. Any small mistake, it will be a disaster. And I wouldn't want that to happen because coalition does not fail in an election battle. Oppositions, they come together to make sure that everything possible to win election, to defend, to defeat the incumbent. But with the way the matter is going and what is playing out and who they might likely give the ticket to, that's where the problem is now. Because that one alone, that singular mistake is a lot. It can damage a lot to the ADC. It's very easy to run your mouth on election day. Now there the battle day. Now there. Anyways, if you never hear we take Kenneth Okonkwo talk here, we'll come back and talk about it. But please take your time. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be your guy. Run for me now. Yeah.
So everybody looks forward to President Tinubu's speech. Being honest, I listen to it because I'm a public affairs analyst. People are going to question me on it. Otherwise, I would not listen to it. And why would people listen to propaganda? In those days, our leaders tell us the truth. But Tinubu has used 3 years of his regime. He said, this is my third address to give us propaganda. Propaganda is an information, especially of a biased and misleading nature that is used to promote a particular cause, a particular doctrine or point of view. So the underlying thing is misleading. The president made a broadcast. As he was making that broadcast, the president is running 3 budgets at the same time. 2024 supplementary budget, and 2025. Purely illegal and unconstitutional. Against Section 81 and against Section 318 of the Constitution. The financial year shall be 12 months, running from 1st January to December 31st. The National Assembly has the right to say it will run from June 1 to May 30th. That cannot exceed 12 months. This is the president that is running 3 budgets. Did you see it reflected in his speech? This president is now supervising $100 billion in loan, national loan, weighing this country, trying to kill this country. Did you see it in the speech? The president said he removed oil subsidy. And can you imagine the president saying that the subsidy was benefiting only a few? What a lie. We were paying 195 naira before the removal of subsidy. And we are now paying 1,000 naira. And you are telling me I am not benefiting anything when I am paying 195 naira in a product, that it is now that I'm going to pay 1,000 naira that is benefiting me. That is a lie.
So, but those are 2 different things.
No.
One second. The difference is The president talking about those benefiting from the scam of subsidy.
Good.
That's one thing. Then you talking about the impact of him removing that subsidy is another thing. And I say that because there's not one politician who ran for office in 2023 that did not say they would take away subsidy. Perhaps the mode of removal of subsidy, but they all agreed that subsidy would go.
Good. I was coming to explain to you the difference. What the politicians of my own cadre was saying when I said I was going to remove oil subsidy is that I was going to remove the incompetence and corruption in the subsidy, not punish Nigerian people. What has been happening is higher prices growing every day as a result of incompetence and corruption, not any subsidy given by the government. That's what we don't understand. Oil is our product. Now I tell you what subsidy means. Subsidy means that you as a government, that you have done everything you're supposed to do, yet the cost of producing that commodity is higher than what the people can bear. So if you give them a higher price, more than the cost of producing it, they can't afford it. So you're now compelled to sell at a lower price than the cost of production. Then the difference the government makes up. Very good. We are producing oil. So gradually, when we built our 4 refineries, we were net exporters. There was no need for subsidy. So gradually, through corruption, they started crumbling our refineries. And then they needed more money because they started importing in dollars. And then they needed more money to pay, to cover up, transferring the cost, higher cost to the people, transferring their incompetence and corruption to the people. So if you rewind it and build the refineries and allow private people to come in and supply crude to them, you have rewound the incompetence and corruption, and the price will come down. I give you an example. Before the GSM came in, we were paying a whole lot to get a line. Not 9 knots, if you remember, from the Nitel. What happened? When GSM came in, we were even paid billions of dollars, and we gave licenses to the people that can do it. And they started doing it. 2 of them came in the first time. You know what they told us? They say it's impossible to bring telecom to us a second basis for the next 10 years. When Glo came in and brought the per second, the other competitors went back to per second. Today, we are still enjoying data at a commensurate price, not because there's subsidy, but because there is efficiency in the management of it. Competition. And then the supply is there. When President Tinubu removed subsidy the first time, I granted an interview before 24 hours. I said, Mr. President, this will be unsustainable. What you should do is ensure regular supply and ensure there is no monopoly.
What would be unsustainable?
And this price,
what would be?
The price that will result from your purported removal of subsidy will be unsustainable. Nobody is sustaining the transportation system. Nigeria is being run on corruption. Nobody will. You can see the civil servants. You can see that they've reduced the number of days that they come officially so that they will be able to bear it. You can see in your home. I said a woman's child died because she couldn't afford transport to take her child to hospital because of malaria. So forget all this talk. That's why I say it's propaganda. And I'm talking about the subsidy. If Dangote came in, if you have 2 more Dangotes and you supply them oil, crude oil, the oil will come down to 200, 300. So what they are telling you subsidy removed? No. There was no subsidy in the first place because oil is our product. So what I'm saying is if you remove the incompetence and corruption, the price will come down. They were simply increasing prices because they wanted to transfer the burden to the poor masses so that they will continue to have more money to spend on their private jets, on building the vice president's office with 21 billion or house with 21 billion naira, to drive Cadillac beasts, to do all these things when people are dying of hunger and hardship. There was no subsidy in the first place. So saying few people we are benefiting. No. The rich, corrupt class, we are benefiting. They are still benefiting till today. That's why Dangote was, saying, why are you people still, importing when the product is here? No, they wouldn't want to. When they told you the refineries are built, they went and put smoke, and smoke went up. That was the cost of about $10 billion. And after the smoke went up, the refineries are still dead. That is what is making that price.
Well, I want us to stick with the president's speech.
Yes, this was his speech.
Yeah, another thing is that there are quite a number of things that have been repeated over time. Nigerians perhaps are tired of them, subsidy removal or not. But the most important conversation now is the level of inspiration that Nigerians perhaps picked from the president's speech. Was there anything from the president's speech that could give hope? Because I know that while you talk about Nigerians suffering, the president did reel out some of the things that his administration is doing to address some of the concerns.
All right.
I know he talked about student loans, he talked about credit call for the youths and more. He'd said quite a number of things that he thinks, that he believes his administration is doing that would help us, and in his own words, we have turned the corner.
Good.
Did you not feel any form of inspiration from the president's speech?
I said I felt depression. I was depressed. Because the president told you he shared 330 billion naira to 8 million homes. Who are they? Did people from your village get it? Because I don't know about mine. 8 million homes. That money is blown. Assuming you even sent it to 8 million homes. Say 25,000 naira per month. What can it afford you? If that 330 billion naira was used to invest in power, because the president himself said if he doesn't give us power, nobody should vote for him. That was his words. In Senate climb, he shouldn't even contest because he has not given us power after 3 years of his speech. And indeed, the tariff for power is even rising, increasing. Meanwhile, he said he will remove oil subsidy in order to give us such infrastructure. Yet he's still billing us more for the infrastructure. What have we gained? Now, he talked about education. He said he was going to give us education. If he gave us education, we'll ask so. And the subsidiaries be threatening to go on strike. The president seemed to be thinking that quantity of something gives any relief to people. He was reading out. In the olden days, you had one secondary school. Now you have 1,000. Sorry, we're talking about the quality, not the quantity. The quality in public institutions of education is gone. ASU has been crying since 2009 for relief. One would have thought that after removing oil subsidy purportedly, he would have addressed that issue. He did not. The question is, with removing oil subsidy, with borrowing all this more than any other government before, what have you done? When the education and the educational institutions are in distress, when the healthcare is in distress, when every indices of infrastructure is in distress, then what have you achieved?
Are there no signs of progress? And I asked this because just like you mentioned...
Yes, we are not stable, we have stagnated.
There's the argument that this president did not cause everything that he's being accused of, that certain measures had to be taken, which is why the pain has increased. The health sector, I know that the Minister of Health has been moving around with the Minister of Information, trying to address some health centers. I know that the cancer centers are being rejuvenated. And then the president in his speech talked about an economy that is growing fast. He said, and you could, if these details, because whether we like it or not, in assessing a country in terms of their development, you must look at certain indices, the economic growth of that country, the human capital development of that country. And these are some of the things that the president has outlined. And I'm just going to give them out to you. He said that in just 2 years, the GDP has grown by 4.23%, which is Nigeria's fastest pace in the past 4 years. It outpaced the 3.4% projected by the IMF. He also said that inflation declined to 20.12% in August 2025, which is the lowest level in 3 years. While the argument is that when will this translate into improved standard of living for the people? My question is, are we making progress? Is it as fast as, it may not be as fast as we want, but are we making progress so that the Nigerians out there would understand whether or not we're making progress? Do you dismiss these claims by the president?
First of all, I do not agree with the figures this government is reading out because they have rebased the GDP. They have rebased the inflation. Like you rightly pointed out, if the figures are real, it will be felt positively with the people. You're not feeling it because they are not real.
Is that not something that will be felt with time?
No. It will not be felt at all. It will not be felt at all. When President Tinubu came in and started with those two policies, I told Nigerians you are going to be hungry throughout Tinubu's regime. When Dangote refinery was coming in, I said the product of Dangote refinery is not going to be cheap. Why did I say so? What we are suffering is cost of production induced inflation, not demand pull inflation. What this means is that as long as your cost of production doesn't go down, your price will never go down. The company will rather fold up because it cannot sell below its cost price. Now, look at this. All the expatriate companies are folding up and running away. J&J just left. Why are they running away? Toxic environment, hyperinflation, multiple charges, high interest rates, frequent policy flip-flop. All these things. You don't have security, you don't have power. High energy costs. There is no way your price will ever come down. So that inflation was rebased. It used to be 34%. From nowhere, they told us it's down 24%. And the man from the Bureau of Statistics, watch his face. He was reading it and he was embarrassed. And he even said, that does not mean the price has changed. If it does not mean the price has changed, inflation is the rate of increase in prices. So what are you rebasing? So what I'm saying is assuming without conceding that those figures are even true. What did this government say? They said they were going to give you $1 trillion economy by 2030. The entire GDP that they have is about $243 billion. They have taken us from the largest economy in Africa to the fourth, assuming it's growing by 4.23. Give them even $280 billion because that is what I heard some of their people saying. that it's $280 billion, which is not true, because 372 trillion naira comes up to $243 billion. So give them, even if it's 300. You know what it means? It means that if it's growing at 4 point something, it is only about $12 billion per year. Check it 5 years from now. We're talking about $60 to $70 billion. Add it to the $280 billion or even $300 billion. It will give you what? Around $360 billion. And they are telling you they will give you a $1 trillion economy in 2030. That's propaganda. That's misleading the people. That's why you will not see the effect of whatever they are saying in the lives of the people, because they are full of lies and propaganda. Anything you bring in that speech, you will see that it is very depressing. He said the security is improving, and right under his nose, a lady flew from the story building to run away from armed robbery and armed robbers. Right under his nose. His neighbor here in Abuja City. A doctor, veterinary doctor has just been kidnapped and killed. The 3 children are still nowhere to be found. The wife just gave birth to a little child. That doctor was the chairman of the Veterinary Medical Association in Abuja here. That doctor happens to come from my town. This happened in Abuja here, in Kubwa, Tinubu's neighbor. And you can see such senseless. And you're hearing about these people because they have a name. Many of all other people that do not have a name, you don't hear about them. More than 500, 600 persons perished in Niger State, natural disaster. And more will still happen because nothing is being done. They are warning about rain now coming that will take around 16 states. The government is aware of this. They are doing nothing. People are still allowed to travel on boats.
Is that a federal government responsibility?
Absolutely.
Where do the state governments come in?
You had blue economy. That's the resources of these inland rivers, inland, and everything is federal government. That's why I'm even saying this government, if they are wise, they will devolve powers to the states and do not allow people to blame them for everything. I've been talking about state police, for instance. I will blame my governor if my governor has state police. I will blame Niger State governor. I will blame Governor Zulum. The Zamfara state governor has made it clear. I know we are these people.
But the president seems to have a body language that suggests that he would be open to state police if it is passed, and he would sign it.
All the things he had body language that he meant. They went through the National Assembly within 2 days, including changing your national anthem.
No, this is a constitutional amendment process.
And I'm telling you, if Tinubu wants it today, it will happen within 68 hours.
But I'm saying, the president says...
I am saying that body language is political. He doesn't have any intention to give state police until after 2027 election, because they intend to use the federal police to do something that they did in 2023. He even told people, politics apart, that state police is the best. 3 years into your regime, you've not done anything about it. Other things he wanted that needed to be changed. The tax reform is more complicated than giving a state police. State police will simply maybe amend one section of the constitution. The tax reforms had to amend so many, brought in 4 different tax, complicated. You know what? Even his own vice president with the Council of State begged him to please slow down for more consultation. What did he say? He said, no, it will continue. And now the tax has been passed. Anything Tinubu wants with this rubber stamp National Assembly, he will get it. He doesn't want it. And it's terrible that he's playing politics with the security of Nigerians. I am embarrassed and ashamed.
Let's talk about the impact of the federal government's social investment programs.
You recall when the Zamfara governor said, if I'm giving state police, he swore by Allah that within 2 months, nobody will hear anything about insecurity in his state. Is it not worth giving it to him?
Very well, then I also think that the president, since he has said that he's open to state police and national assemblies in the process of passing
that's what you say.
We would be open to seeing whether the president will sign it in good time, because the Constitutional Review Committee is wrapping up pretty soon, and let's see whether that bill makes it to the light of day. But then the social investment program of the federal government is something that I think we should talk about. And the reason is that it's supposed to be more impactful because these are models that the country has picked from other countries. India, for instance, started this special works program for its people, which we had picked up in the last administration. But then again, this 330 billion that the president says is shared to 8 million households. With all this and the question of who got what, because the data is not available. I also try to get the details of that. And I think one of the government officials had said that they can't publish the names of the people who benefited from it for security reasons. Didn't make sense to me at the time. But when you look at all this, do you think that this country should continue such a special investment program?
The country ought not to have even started it in the first place. You're seeing open robbery, and you're saying if they cannot publish it, democracy thrives on transparency and accountability. Whatever you cannot publish in a democracy is a classified document. It has to do with the security of the state. Any other thing is outright stealing and covering corruption.
So from your understanding, how best can a social investment program be effective?
You know, there was one American president during the time of depression, economic depression. He said, no, don't give money free to people. If you don't know what to do, go and tell them to dig a hole. And after a while, tell them to go and cover the hole, so that money will be tied with work. so that you create impression. You have to work. Create jobs for people. Stop sharing Nigerian money amongst your rich elites, pretending you're giving it to the people. If you cannot, is it the people that are receiving the money that are saying you shouldn't give them, you should not publish their name? Tell me the armed robber that will go and risk his life. They'll go and steal somebody 25,000 from somebody. If that is all he has, you prefer to die. You're giving somebody 25,000 naira a month, and you're saying you can't publish it for security reasons. Security of what? That an armed robber will go to look for 25,000 naira to risk his life.
You know the
or
argument,
what?
the argument is that the people for whom this 25,000 is meant,
Yes,
are not. It's a big deal to them. It may not be nothing to you, but somebody who doesn't have 500 naira would very much cherish 25,000 naira.
So what is the security risk?
But it could be robbed.
Well, like I said, it will be very ridiculous. Why I'm saying this is assuming. Why I say I don't support it. Assuming that is even true. Something that will last for 3 months. You give them 25,000 naira. It stops the third month. Then they will die. Like the widow of Zarephath. That's it. This is my last food. Let me eat it and die. That is why you just have to teach them how to fish.
But how else? How else? Well, because government doesn't.
How else?
Provide
if you provide
employment.
power, direct employment is giving them electricity.
What a power situation.
This nation is the most Nigerian youths.
The power situation.
They are the most intelligent human beings on earth. The most creative human beings on earth. We created Nollywood from nothing.
Well, what level of progress do you expect this administration to have made in less than 3 years?
What are you talking?
Considering decades.
In America, psychologists, economists went into research and said they would give any president 4 years because they were sure that 4 years he would deliver. Can't you see? That is 4 years you used to read up many degrees in the university. So if you can read up a degree in the university for 4 years, you cannot achieve anything for 4 years. That is evil propaganda.
Do you think the president hasn't achieved anything?
Nothing.
But he's increased the foreign reserves.
Increase foreign reserves?
Yes.
Oh, you don't know the trick? The trick is rather than taking that money, borrow more dollars and leave that one.
But he also paid off
to deceive and to bewitch
loans.
Nigerian people. How can you have a foreign reserve which you are not paying interest, and this year alone you have borrowed 21 point something billion dollars? That's why I said it's bewitchment that they are doing now. They've upgraded from falsehood to bewitchment. What they're doing is enchantment. You're saying your foreign reserve is increasing and your debt is increasing to $100 billion. Foreign reserve increased to $42 billion. Can you imagine what's the ratio? Not up to 50%. Your debt now is $100 billion. So what sense does it make? You're borrowing $21 billion and you're saying your foreign reserve is increasing. That is bewitchment.
Anyways, let's look at Nigeria from a...
Hey, you don't come again. Anyways, everything you said is easy to say, but it's easy to say. How prepared are you guys? We know Tinubu has failed. That's why we're looking for somebody to rescue us from these Tinubu problems. To rescue us, we are desperately looking for a rescuer. And any mistake we make again, Tinubu continue. Let me say there is problem. We might not get to the end of the tunnel where they say at the end of the tunnel there will be a light. So we might not get to the end of the tunnel before expecting light to if Tinubu continue 2027. That's how bad it is. Yes, whatever you like, say that things are getting better. They continue to say, telling you Tinubu is not a prophet of promises, hope. He never fulfilled any of his promises, any of his hope. So hope, hopeless. So if you believe that Tinubu is doing well, continue deceiving yourself that he's doing well. So ADC, like I said, any small mistake you guys make, na disaster, it will cost you guys a lot. It will cost you guys a lot. So we wouldn't want to have a 3-horse race like 2023 presidential election where we even have 4. Atiku, Kwankwaso, APC, Peter Obi. So this time is too. We wouldn't want to have that again, whereby all these people will just split the votes. No, it should have just be one singular party who is serious. Then battle with the APC. The APC we know, we see the power of Nigerians. But if you guys decided to zone or give ticket to somebody who does not deserve it, who Nigerians does not want as a president, who has failed many times and who has, I think, for my opinion, who has nothing to offer, who is not different from Tinubu, I do not see him moving this country forward. I do not see him moving this country forward. Tinubu is busy doing nothing. We wouldn't want somebody to come again busy doing nothing. We wouldn't want somebody to come again busy giving Nigeria hope. We're tired of promises, hope. Our names, even if we have some persons answering the name hope, all of us, we are not hope. We can't continue to rely on hope. We don't go to the markets to buy things based on hope. Your statement promising here and there, it does not reduce the price of food. We don't bank, we don't take those promises to the market and the sellers decided to give it to us in a cheaper rate because you make some of those statements that has to do with whole patient. No. That's what I'm saying now, ADC. Do not let this hope die, because if APC continue, some Nigerians will not survive it. Some Nigerians are already malnourished. And if they continue again, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Under Tinubu, things are not going back to where they were before. They can only go up. You can only try to get used to them. I said it last year that you said things that no, you can't. Things cannot get better again. The way Tinubu met this country, he can't return the country back to where it was, or even thinking or expecting that he's going to get better than where Buhari left this country. No, he can't. He can't. No president ever ruled this country and leave it better than where the previous one, where he met it. No. They can only increase the dollars, increase the food and services, increase the price of petrol. These are what they do. We know. So Tinubu started from day one. Tinubu has worsened the whole thing. So it's not going to get better again. You can only live with it, get used to it. Is it not what we have been doing now? You are used to the price, the new price Tinubu gave us. You are already used to it. Now, the reason why Tinubu or APC member are not telling us that things are getting better, it is because you are not used to the new price. These prices now, you are used to it. They are not thinking about the previous price where Tinubu met this country, took over. No. They are even trying everything possible to make the price stable in where they are now. That's what they are doing. Now, everything has changed already. So, there is hope. Is there hope? Yes, there is hope. Can this thing be better? Can it get better again? Yes, it can get better with a serious person. Tinubu is not one of those that can get this country working again. He can't do it. So, ADC, now, you guys, you can't, everything you say is easy to say. It now depends who is going to be the leader of that party, who is going to be the leader of the party. That determines who is going to win the election. If not, if we have Peter Obi in another party, hey, forget it. It is not, remember, it is not the party that will produce the result. It is Nigerian people that really want change. That's the reason why it is the system and the Nigerians. It two things, Nigerians and the system. If the system is not being manipulated, then the wishes of Nigeria will come to pass with the person they truly deserve, they wanted. It has nothing to do with the party. Now, who would have thought Labour Party will do well in 2023 presidential election? That's what I'm saying now. So it is not the party that matters. It is that person representing the party is what matters. Do you understand? So, system, if the system is better for that person, for everybody to come, everybody to give a free and fair, playing level grant to go and do your things, you come. That party you don't even know about. Now we defeat all of them, we beat them, we still beat their hands down. We beat their hands down. So, anyways, we are watching. Isn't it you say now, who is that person you are giving the ticket to that have the same idea of everything you say to change it? If it is Atiku, I don't think Atiku can do it. No, he can't. We wouldn't want somebody like Cameroon, what is happening in Cameroon, to happen in Nigeria today. Do you understand? And if you look at Atiku's camp now, if Atiku want to appoint ministers, for example, is he going to appoint his age mate? Most of the ministers will also be like his age mate, who have been in politics many years. His age mate. What is happening in Cameroon? Cameroon, the president in Cameroon now is 92. Like the Senate president in Cameroon, like Akpabio, is 91, I'll be 92. It's almost the same age. Attorney General, 80 something, I'll be still 90 something. All of them, they are 80s, 80, 90s. All about top 5 leadership in that country. Like top 5 in the country, they are 80, 90s. We wouldn't want that. If Atiku come, Atiku is going to do almost the same thing. Because he's old, his friends, they are old too. You see the people moving around with him too. He's his age mate. Now, for example, look at Peter Obi again. Look at the age mate, the group, the people moving around with him. The same thing. That's where, if you have somebody like that, then the youth will be able to penetrate the system. They will be able to give the youth opportunity. Other than that, 0 over how many? Anyway, what do you think? Please share this video. The time we are getting closer. Please share this video and subscribe for more.